Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Lauterbach Community Center in Chula Vista, home of the Chula Vista Promise Neighborhoods and SBCS Services for Youth in the community. And I'd really like to welcome Attorney General Rob Bonta. We really love it when people come to visit. And this is the best time of year to visit because it is really about us making sure that our families in the community are able to celebrate the holidays. And we do it together as partners. And on the other side of this room is we not only have a food distribution happening, but we also have a lot of families that will be able to get the gifts that they want to get for their children and wrap them. And I think we're going to get you to wrap some gifts. Yeah. I really stink at it, so I think at the age of 40, I lost the ability to wrap gifts because they go in gift bags. So we want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank you all for being here, and we'd love you to say something.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Catherine. Well, good morning, everyone. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. Thanks for making time, and thank you for your presence. I just want to say thank you to Catherine and SBCS for all the work that they do throughout the year, not just today. Certainly today we're excited to be here and participate in the generosity and the giving spirit, but it's organizations like this that get it done year-round, day in and day out, rolling up their sleeves, head down when no one's looking, and I just want to appreciate and highlight and express thanks for their important work. This is the third press conference like this that I've done throughout the state of California. We're highlighting the generosity and the giving spirit of the holiday season, but also making sure that when people give, when they're generous, when they open up their wallets to donate to charities, that the funds go to the intended purpose, that it actually gets to the charity, it provides the services that are necessary to the people that they intended to help, and that it supports the mission that they are providing funds to support and to amplify. So I just want to, I'll make a few remarks here in a second. We're going to get busy as well. We don't just like to come and talk, we like to come and do and roll up our sleeves and volunteer as well. I have some of my team members from the California Attorney General's office here as well, and I'm proud of my team who give every day in our roles, but also are giving to nonprofits throughout the state of California. So thank you. Let me just say that I'm gonna give a couple tips about ways to give that, make sure that the funds that are provided are secure, that folks are not scammed or defrauded. And as I do that, I do not want the key message to be lost, that I want you to give. I want you to be generous. I want your hearts to be big and to help our neighbors. We know that many folks are doing okay right now, but many folks are not. And for those that are down on their luck, who need a helping hand, who need their neighbors to step up for them, that's what we do. That's one of the things that makes California great. So don't be scared by the tips that I make. They should actually make you more comfortable giving, because you'll know when you follow them that your donations will reach the intended source. And let me just talk a little bit about where we are here in San Diego with some of the challenges that we are facing. We see costs for families rising. The pandemic, of course, is ongoing. There is incredible need throughout the state of California, and certainly that includes right here in San Diego. Here in San Diego, 1 in 4 people in the county is nutrition insecure, unable to reliably access affordable, nutritious food. Nearly 5,000 individuals are experiencing homelessness. They're sleeping in shelters or on the streets. So while there is incredible need, we have incredible organizations to meet the moment, to step up, to respond, organizations like SBCS that are providing critical services. And also, we know that organizations are doing their part, but there's always more to do, and that's where you come in. As Californians who care, as Californians who are invested in the future of our state and the people of our state, our greatest resource. So want to make sure that when you give responsibly and that you're not taken advantage of. So I have 8 tips to share with you that are standard strong, reliable consumer protection tips that I want you to think about and follow when you're donating to charities of your choice during the holiday season and year-round. Tip number 1 is check the registration status. We have a registry that we keep at the California Department of Justice. You can search it by going to oag.ca.gov/donations to make sure you're giving to a charity that is in good standing. Californians should never donate to a delinquent or a suspended charity. Tip 2, give to organizations that you trust and do your research about those organizations as you give. You will want to give to a charity that's going to spend as much of your donation on direct services, on helping people, on making lives better. So when you do your research, you should ask things like, how much does this charity spend on overhead and employees, and how much actually goes to support the mission? Tip number 3, don't be pressured by telemarketers, and you may not even want to give through a telemarketer. A telemarketer will take a cut of the donation that you give. It might be better for you. Your dollar might stretch further and help more people if you give directly to the organization without the use of the telemarketer. You might receive a high-pressure pitch from a telemarketer. If you feel pressured, if you feel uncomfortable, you can always hang up and reach out to the organization that you want to support directly. Watch out for deceptive tactics. Unfortunately, they are out there. One of the things that is used to deceive people with good hearts and generous spirits is naming organizations that sound similar to another organization that we love, that we trust, that is well known, but is not the actual organization. An example is the American Cancer Foundation is different than the real American Cancer Society. It could just be one word different, so make sure that when you do your research, you are detailed and careful, and make sure your gift is going to the organization that you intend. Similarly, while there are look-alike names, there are also look-alike websites and email addresses. One example is we have the organization UNICEF. We all love UNICEF, and they do great work, but there was a fraudulent organization called UNICEF COVID-19 Relief.com. We had to shut that down. That was not the real UNICEF, and people donated perhaps thinking that they were given to UNICEF, but it was really a fraudulent organization. So keep your eye out for fake websites. Be wary of social network fundraising like GoFundMe. There was an individual who claimed to be raising money for a homeless man. He raised $400,000 on GoFundMe. It was not. It did not go to the homeless man. It was a scam. So be careful and be diligent. Tip number 7: protect your identity. You do not need to give your Social Security number when you are generously giving to a charitable organization. And the organization might ask if they are trying to scam you for your Social Security number. They might say they want to make sure that your donation is tax deductible, so give your Social Security number. That's a lie. Do not give it, and also do not give your credit card information unless you are sure that this is the charitable organization that you can trust. And finally, tip number 8, be careful when making digital donations, when using a portable card reader, a QR code, or a fancy-looking digital solicitation. They might look impressive, but you don't necessarily know that the money is going to the charitable organization. So always confirm your donation is going to the real charity. So those are the 8 tips. We have them here as well. They're on our website. There's further detail and further examples to help make sure you understand how to be vigilant, how to be careful when you're making your donations. And again, I don't want the underlying message to be lost. Please be generous. Please support your neighbors. Please invest in the people of California and the organizations that make lives better. They're doing great work every day, and they're worthy and deserving of your support. We also provide tools to make sure that no one is being scammed or defrauded, and that money that is donated is going to the charitable organizations that deserve it. If you see something that you think is fraudulent, that you think is a scam, reach out to us, please, our office at oag.ca.gov/charities/complaints. And for nonprofit organizations who want to make sure that they avoid falling victim to scammers and fraud, you can avail yourself of our Guide for Charities, which we've provided on our website as well. So again, this is the season of giving. The holiday season is all about generosity. Wonderful nonprofits like SBCS are deserving of your support and your generosity. But again, make sure that your donations are going to the intended organization to fulfill the intended purpose and mission of the donation. And you can do that by following our 8 tips. So we're going to get to work here shortly. We're going to roll up our sleeves and do some volunteering with some team members from the California Department of Justice. But before then, I'm happy to take any questions that you might have.